And we're back again, guys. It's time to continue the match between CLG and compLexity. Take over for a second.
Yep, we're going to continue this match between CLG and compLexity.
Thought I had to sneeze.
But you didn't. Oh, that's the worst. I feel for you, man.
Held it back.
Damn. I would have let it rip.
Thought I was going to, and then it just went away. So, saved.
So are we medicked up?
I hope so, yeah. I think we are pretty much ready to go here as the game is getting a little bit closer now. CLG, we're starting to see them come alive a bit more towards the end of it, but obviously compLexity still fighting too, looking to keep their advantage. As I think it's 8-4 right now, if I recall correctly.
8-4, and compLexity have just enough money to put together a buy. It's probably going to be a little bit weird. I saw Falmus being dropped, so it's not going to be the best situation in the world, but it's still going to be okay. I think they saved 2 rifles. And they have the opportunity, I think, to, if they shut down this round, they have a sick half to look forward to. Like, they'll probably have an 11-4, 12-3 half.
11-4.
Oh, yeah, they already have 4 rounds, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, to be 11-4 at best. But even that at this point would be like great for them, just because of the fact that they want to try and get out ahead here, because going on to T side is where they're going to have to really make sure that they're prepped for this, because this is where both teams kind of fell short back on the last map too. Yeah, obviously Mirage a little bit of a different beast. You have maybe it's like a little bit easier to go for your more simpler executes on this map, but still you still have to kind of innovate and bring your own style to things, as you're otherwise going to be found out pretty quickly, and the CTs will start to shut you down. The score will be fixed, guys, in the next round as our observers find a creative way to help us in the meantime. But it is 8-4 in the favor. They actually had the numbers wrong. It's 8-4 in the favor of compLexity. CLG has 4.
This guy gonna do a movie, huh?
The face is the best, dude. He's just like the most serious looking guy.
Whoever sponsors this guy should call Strats.
A very deep voice when they call the Strats too.
This guy's gonna be a big star one day.
Walter White in A New Life.
It's actually a fictional character. His name's Bryan Cranston.
Sorry, Bryan Cranston in Another Life. Have you seen that that crazy fan theory about how his character from Breaking Bad and his character from Malcolm in the Middle were like the same person?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like that was his. That was him before he went into Breaking Bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It was foolproof, honestly.
It's pretty hilarious. A little bit scary to read through because it's a good possibility that it could have been right. But getting back on topic, as we see CLG getting ready for the execute. It's just going to be straightforward onto A. They've already got a man advantage to play off of here, so they'll push it forward. Peter will be smoked off on top steps too. Keeps playing to that position, but like I said before, compLexity have kind of, CLG have kind of read into that. And they even read into this flank too. A holds on his own regard, picks up 1 kill, tries to go for more, but he has no positioning to work off of. So it's not long before he's pushed back out, and this is going to let CLG inside. Pretty sure we're just going to see a save call from Cole too. With only 8 seconds left to get the plant done. They try to deny it, won't happen. Peter did pick up another kill, but, it will not end up being a save. Slemmy ends up going down back by Ticket though, and that leaves only Peter alive here in a 1v3. They know exactly where he's at, so he'll finally call for the save and fall out of the sight.
Yeah, does a couple of tricks and gets out a connector, and they go to save. So one thing we saw from Ye there is he was up at the back of triple, or he was in CT and he moved into triple to fight against the execute. So instead of playing for the retake, he tried to do something a little bit more drastic, and they definitely saw each other. Oh,
nope.
Oh, wow.
Punched, and that's going to slow you down too much as Cutler finishes him off. No saves at all for Cole, and they will be pretty much broken here. Put on to just a half buy or upgraded pistol buy for this round.
But yeah, after the first kill comes out, Ye is like, okay, we're 5v4 or 4v5, so I've got to try to fight this and get 2 kills for my team as they rotate in. Sometimes that's a good thing to do. Sucky part is that with triple, you only have so many chances to live. So there's like a lot of utility from that position. And wow, good opening kill on the Eco to start this off. There's a lot of utility from that position, but it's also fully spammable. So once you show yourself, you've just got to hit your first bullet like every time or you're dead.
CLG will continue to play more passively here at the opening of the round. They'll still be able to move forward and slowly establish mid-control, but they're not going to use a whole lot to do that. With the loss of Ethan, though, you can be sure they're going to be a little bit more careful. Ye is found, though. He'll be denied of any additional pickups on this round. And now that it's brought down to a more even battle, compLexity will have to get a bit desperate again. We can see Android looking for his route to maybe find a kill, but Molly will hold him away, hold him at bay, until CLG can get into a better position to execute here. FNS establishing that good position. Already finding Peter trying to push back through with the connector. We'll take him down, and that pretty much leaves the A site wide open. You still have Android, but he's got flashed at window. Slemmy has some luck, though. Picks up 1 kill from within the B site, and Android holds on his own inside a window room there. So CLG are just going to ignore him for now. They'll focus on getting out into the site and getting this plant. Kusta picking up the kill on Def, though, evens us back out again. And only the last 2 players at jungle remain. Kusta, though, will be forced back because he misses that shot. They have a very good crossfire, and there we go. They both pick up a kill at the end of it. That puts CLG at 6-8 going into the last round of the half.
Nice flash from Kusta. Seamless transit. Oh my god, I thought he had 0 deaths. I think that's because of the match.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, what a half for losing so much. But last round of the half, most rounds now compLexity can get is 9. And if CLG bring this back, they've definitely done a lot of good considering how poor their start was.
And that will certainly help them going on to the CT side too, where we've already seen better. Both of these teams, compLexity might be a little bit worried here depending on how confident they are from their T side. Riquet holding, but didn't even react to that second player for some reason, so we'll just get traded 1 for 1. It's Kusta that strikes back though, and the rest of CLG will continue to push into the site, but not before Peter gets a dirty kill himself and snaps away to find Ethan, bringing us back down into a 3v3.
Sometimes Peter's op is godlike, dude.
Problem is though,
He's got a friend.
Yes, he's got Cutler waiting right on the other side here.
He's gonna clear it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It just crouches right under him. Takes out Cutler and gets back his step position. This has really been the only position he's played from on retakes, though, so Kusta is pretty well trained on that. Expecting him, the problem is Kusta has to peek past this smoke, and that puts him into the open where Def can punish him. Only FNS left standing here. Able to pick up the first kill here, going for the 1v3. Good spam damage, but ultimately Peter will push him, taking him down and securing a 9th for compLexity. They take the lead coming off of the first half, but it's currently a bit of a delicate one, so we'll just have to wait and see if they can hold on to that in the second half, which is going to be coming up right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with us, and we'll be back in a minute with more ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
We're back, ready to jump into the second half here on Mirage now. CLG taking on compLexity, and while the first half started off well for compLexity, didn't end that way. They only take it 9-6 coming off of their CT side, which is going to make things a little bit delicate for them as they now jump onto the T side here. Yeah,
we saw the precise moment that they decided to go for a gamble on that round where it was kind of a half force up, half saved weapons, kind of want to go for this round, and that's the abbreviated way to call that round.
Interesting way.
Yeah, but even with losing that, they still came out positive in the half. It was a good round to end on. And moving into the second half, I think their T side will be put to the test. I'm not so surprised their CT side did well considering how good their CT side was on Train. But considering how poor their T side was on Train, I wonder what they've got in store. And again, I don't think I've seen compLexity play here at ESL Pro League on the A stream, but I may have. Have you cast?
I think we've done it like once or twice. It was like earlier in the season that we haven't watched them in a while.
But nothing that I can remember.
And there he is
the
again.
big star himself. He's got a toothpick and everything.
Yeah,
Just a bit of hay.
So let's jump into it here and see what compLexity have to show us on their T side. To start it off, well, they're going to pretty much just rush through the B halls here and try to make it execute towards this site. Slowing it down, however, so as not to make it blatantly obvious what they're going to be doing, but without any mid-presence. Cutler or someone else from CLG should be able to spot for that, and with the flashbang in, well, Rotates will need to be on the way very soon here. Ethan, not going to be knocked out just yet, but he is the first to go down and does not trade a whole lot of damage in response to that. It's FNS, actually, that's going to get the first kill here for the CT side, but it's not long before he's been dinked, down very low to 1 HP. And we'll have to continue fighting from inside here. And wow, Android just taking full control of that situation. He pushes forward, knocks out both of the market defenders, and leaves now only the players coming from Catwalk alive. They pick up their first kill. No trade yet, but they're also not getting a whole lot of control back because I think they're a little bit scared of what could be hiding in the corners of this site. Dev finishes off both of them, however, and secures the pistol for compLexity. And they'll be able to continue holding on to their lead with that victory.
And listen, if you win a couple of pistols, sometimes, I mean, that can be all you need, really. Nice couple of kills here. It seemed like Android was for sure going to die. Jumping into the window, I don't think he expected there to be two guys ready to fight him. But yeah, if you win a couple of pistols, it can make up for some rounds that you might make mistakes on. So I think we've got something of a simple B execute out with top mid presence. I would like them to make sure they move it as quickly as possible, considering they aren't holding for stuff. There's number one mistake I think I see with the lower level teams at Invite. But yeah, they go out quick.
And FNS is actually going to be caught, but for whatever reason, they didn't realize his position. They'll know now, though, because he just fired off a shot, but leaps in, gets the quick headshot against Slemmy. However, trades are seen just moments later. Android and Ye pick up their own kills. I don't think Rick's frag is going to end up meaning all that much, though, as it doesn't necessarily net them anything. He's still stuck without any way to bargain back into the B-bomb site. And then him and Cutler both only really have mid-control to play off here. It is a 2v3, so might be some room for them to justify going for the retake, but I don't think it'll be happening. More than likely, they'll be camping out here in mid and waiting for exits to at least make the round a bit more expensive for Cole here.
Yeah, super clean. Like the fast B. I think only dropped SMGs. I'm not sure if they recover another AK, then we know for sure. There's one of the SMGs dropped. And we've got head armor to save, so it's totally worth it for CLG to back up here. Yeah, that's it. I think they only invested into 3 SMGs, so it was a pretty good round overall for compLexity. Minimal losses. Rebuys will be out. They are going to be a mixed bag in terms of economy. CLG, on the other hand, will recycle the armor. I imagine Ricky will, if he has an upgraded pistol, hand that over to a friend. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Otherwise, they'll still end up with a pretty pitiful buy here, with the exception of that ump sitting on Ricky. So compLexity, again, will open up in a very slow fashion, just a 3-2 split across the map. And actually, Slemmy's already chosen to initiate into B. He's going to get himself in a bit of a fight against FNS, which really no one's going to win right now. Both of them back away from each other, but FNS is getting creative. He's found a new position. Slemmy has zero clue where he's at. If he taps this at the right moment, might actually be able to find Slemmy there. However, can't hear any of this movement that Slemmy's currently going for, so it looks like he's going to be able to evacuate getting out of the site. Ye holds against the aggressive push. He knows there's one more still sitting on ramp and decides to challenge it head on. That will not work out so well. He'll be taken down by Cutler. And now Peter sits at the gates inside of Palace here. This hesitation from compLexity is really killing them, as it's just leaving them standing frozen, making it easy for these aggressive hits to get kills. It almost gets one again against Peter. He holds the line for now, but the heavy damage against both Peter and Slemmy is not going to help their case on re-entry now. Slemmy might as well immediately go down. It's only alive primarily because Def helps him out here, but there's the second kill coming from Cutler inside of Palace. He'll now fall back. And in a 2v2, really neither team is going to have a massive advantage right now, but at least they find FNS without a trade for it. It's going to come down to Cutler to clutch this for CLG, assuming he goes for it, which I think he will.
Ooh, yeah, the bomb's actually kind of taking a long route back to B, but is going back there. And with both players low, I wouldn't count Cutler completely out of this, though it will be a 10-second defuse. He's on the other side of the map. But yeah, odds are slim for sure. Seems like he's gotten a head start, so he's like, all right, you know, why don't we try this?
Tries to spam through, making sure nobody was sat back watching for him. This will be an ace from Cutler if he manages to pull it off. But upon going into market, seems to have second thoughts about his situation. So he will back away now that he has the AK at least. It's a free buy, essentially, going into the first gun round. And he'll be happy with that. So compLexity will be allowed to go up to 12 and double the scoreline of CLG.
Yeah, I like the approach. Just no free kills, so why attempt it? And now he's in a pretty good position to save as they seek to find him, but clearing the wrong angles. Five rounds of difference. CLG will buy up, recycle this AK. compLexity have a pretty strong lead at this point. And this is kind of the first rifle round, though. So this is what they've been waiting for. Kusta with his op, but Peter's going to meet him there too. Peter, pretty good op on T side, although consistent, is kind of the type of opper you want that's not afraid to go for peaks.
Still be ready to burst out, however, as we see compLexity moving in. It's Kusta back from Ticket that grabs the first kill here. Looking for more, not going to be able to get it though. He actually gets taken down by Peter. So just an even 1-for-1 trade off of that position inside of Ticket. The spam coming from the CTs is not netting much, but the push from Ye does massive work. Moves in, takes down both Color and Ricky. And all of a sudden, it's pretty much an instant save call from the two still standing players on CLG.
Oddly reminiscent of the round in the first half where Ethan busted out onto A and just got 2 kills and made it so that CLG had no, or that compLexity had no opportunity to even hold onto A or retake it. This is a pretty solid round. Simple A execute. Couldn't have gotten more simplistic, in fact, and even got away with all their aggression as well. So here's a kill that's kind of nice. I think compLexity would like to take down this rifle, but it's not as bad as an op. I think it's more important that with 3 rounds potentially left in the half, that they continually build their economy. So I think just as it is true in life, it's true in Counter-Strike that easy come, easy go. Because you can build up an economy quickly in 1 round, you can lose that all in a single buy.
CLG still decide to buy into this round behind those couple of saves they managed to put together in the previous round here. compLexity, though, will just basically walk in and take free mid-control at the start of the round. Very little resistance coming out from CLG here, so they're going to be able to get this for free. Only using the standard smokes in order to get it. Now they just have to watch out for cap position, which would really be the only thing that could counter them at the moment. Maybe Ethan sneaks out a kill from window, but I doubt it. They're keeping good eyes watch on that. There'll have to be a loss in it. But Ricky moves in, finds the bomb carrier, takes him down. Def's going to look to trade. Wow, that's too easy for Ricky. Def just slowly shift walking into him. Easy kills for CLG to start it off 5v3.
Yeah, he can't actually peek like that because shadows favor Ricky in that position. Sometimes you forget because you can't see your own shadow, but anybody holding that angle it's a pretty good angle to hold, basically. Ah, that's kind of interesting. They take apart the A site just like that. And fortunately for CLG, they've got Ricky, but here is Yaster to also be on the other side of the map. He doesn't want to die, though, in between 2 players. Now both CTs are spotted. Wow, FNS gives him the fight.
That's great control exercised by Ye. And now Ethan's been pinched, and Android's going to be able to take him down, so they don't even need to find the plant. compLexity just win it outright in gun duels, which will cause a pretty quick pause call from CLG there. The investment, despite it looking pretty heavy from CLG, actually didn't completely buy out their money. They still end up with a pretty decent amount of cash for what could be their final gun round now, as they're going to be able to fully reinvest here.
My goodness, getting away with all types of rounds, just the full executes, the fast rounds, the... and well, actually, there's only been those 2 since the half was so good, apart from the pistol round. So just solid performance so far, and that default was great. They, even though Ricky got those opening kills on Cat, it was clear that even before compLexity engaged at A, that they were going to be able to take apart the whole site, and they even had Ye on the other side of the map to catch somebody off guard. So I mean, everybody pitching in. It probably should have at the very least been a 1v1 for CLG, but dang. compLexity pretty solid. Yeah,
very solid indeed, and a great way to recover it too, using good positioning in the A, specifically on that lurk, and B really helps to kind of save the day and make it impossible for CLG to retake, let alone compLexity plant there. This time, Ye is not going to find himself in such a good position, but it's immediately recovered by both Slemmy and Peter. FNS still has his position on Cat, though, so with his trade, we go back down to another even bout, a 3v3, but Android's going to start his walk into the A site, and he'll find it relatively open. This should pull the rest of his teammates over here. Really, all Android has to worry about is going to be connector and jungle positions, because besides that, the site is wide open. Def is still waiting here, gets the early spot onto Ricky, and takes him down, so now compLexity have the advantage back completely. However, they will have to fight potentially against both of these CTs.
That's a bad smoke. That is an ass smoke.
Kind of covers jungle, but
no.
Still going to let the connector players out.
It's more of an illusion than anything else. You come up the A ramp, it looks like you're covered, but from this perspective, it couldn't be more wide open. And that's their last bit of utility, too. This would be an awful round to lose because of that.
They're going to see the shadow, though, so Android leans into that one. An easy first pickup. FNS tries to trade it, but it's just lambs to the slaughter. Android picking up a quick 2 kills, and that sends compLexity up to map point for a potential 2-0 on the evening against CLG.
It really does feel like they know them well, doesn't it? It feels like they're super well prepared for all these pushes that are coming out, like on train when they were picking all the right sides to push. And here on the T side, they're holding all the right angles. And as Android gets activated up the A ramp because it's a 3v3, and FNS does a good job trading at mid, They do also get Def to catch a player pushing through B-apps, and he waits long enough that he even catches them going all the way through. So another call out that pays off.
Peter's going to try to hit a timing shot this time, but I actually think, no, that was different. So it's not going to connect. FNS does get hit by something else. So he's detached from all of this over in the B site. Rest of compLexity still looking for how they want to play this. We're trying to figure that out because they did get mid control. They've properly maintained it, but they don't have anyone back towards T spawn here. So this is going to let Ethan walk right through. Get a whole lot of intel. And if he keeps walking without being spotted, potentially find the bomb too. But that's going to change now. Peter picks it back up and should be able to escape into the halls here.
Oof, just barely missing that. That's unfortunate for Ethan.
He can still pull off a pretty good flank here, though, because if they are going to decide to push through apartments and he kills the bomb carrier and one more before they even execute, then that's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
To let CLG try and close out quickly here. The flashbang, though, is also good. It completely blinds FNS, but Kusta still has a very dominant position up on top. Ethan gonna have to push back out here as they move in. They don't even check the corner. It's just straight up kills for CLG. Def traded for 1, but wow. Besides that, they get completely destroyed. And within just a few seconds, it goes from everyone on the server alive to now only Def running from compLexity.
Yeah, they didn't. Everybody died, I think, pushing into V, but still were. I don't know if there was anyone. Yeah, someone did die up Cat, so they were properly spaced and everything like that. CLG just had all the good information. So this is kind of what compLexity were doing to them over and over again, and finally plays out in their favor. So good setup from CLG to stave off what would be series point.
Yeah, so putting it down into a bit. It doesn't serve to necessarily break compLexity just yet, but it at least has fortified the buy from CLG. No longer are they working with just a scrap buy. That worked out actually really well for them in the last round, but it's increased it to full investment, including the op on Ricky. compLexity no longer have an op of their own.
So this is obviously the lineup that can molly under Balk. As the nades go over, and Death gets killed, I think, as a lurker. So I don't know if this is going to alert the rotates.
Nothing yet, but it definitely is going to cause a heightened sense over here when we start to see players pushing up ramp. They kill the guy that's hiding in the corner outside of ramp, though. So the first initial attempt to get kills in this site fails. Ethan will respond, but it's not long before a trade moves in. That's only keeping the fight even, though, because of the earlier kill against compLexity's lurker. He will continue to push down. He had a good flashbang, but he didn't have confidence behind it, so waits a moment before peeking there, and that gives Kusta what he needs to pick up the kill. Peter also directly peeks into Ricky, and now it's up to Android, although he's dominated from this position before. But he's not going to have nearly the advantage that he's had in the past. I'll assume as well that he's sitting somewhere on the site. I think they've just seen him. The molly goes in. Nice. Second-guessing himself a bit too much here, and eventually the molly will just burn him out. Only got 1 of the 3 kills. Signs that it is CLG that'll win here, going up 8 to 15. 7 more rounds needed in a row for them to take this to overtime still, though.
Yeah, good post plant, and you could see not necessarily cognitive dissonance, but yeah, you're not swinging wide enough, and I think that he just didn't want to swing too wide to the point that he exposed himself more than he needed to, which is always good. But then once he only saw the shoulder of somebody, if he had kept running out, he wouldn't have been able to get that kill. And instead, when he tried to counter strafe one more time, there was somebody behind him in market that was more ready to take that fight. So a bit of unfortunate timing, but good cover from CLG and a good retake setup to make sure to call out all of the pushes that compLexity would try to do in the post plant.
compLexity looks like they're just going to do a quick walkout this time towards A. Everyone stacked together pretty much, just a ramp and palace split. And in they go. No delay on this at all. They don't really have any utilities, no reason to delay it anyway, but they hit the first kill. And what utility they did have was used pretty well here to get the smoke wall going. So they're going to plant in the default spot, but they're going to send the other 4 down to ticket, which...
Oh, there's no CTs in CT. Wow, this could be a disaster. 3 CTs in connector. Is anyone watching this, though?
Yes,
yeah, they are.
Cutler's checking for it. So Peter's dead. Def will be dead, too. Yeah, he's the only one picking up kills for his team right now, though, but now he's dead as well. And the Molly at ticket is not helping compLexity's case at this point in time. This is why I hate to see these pushes past ticket, as it's not working out again. And they've restricted presence on the side. Don't even think they're going to be able to stop this diffuser. Can they get it in time? No, they cannot. And Kusta also just took down the last 2 players anyway. So there's the 9th for compLexity, or from CLG, excuse me. They once again pick up an additional round here to bring it closer. But that was only an eco from compLexity. They're coming back into it with a full buy again.
Yeah, they definitely held that because Cutler was, smart enough to watch that window flank, realizing that they didn't have anyone in CT, that there was likely going to be a push. So good awareness on his behalf. Or on his team's behalf by him, or however the hell you would say that. And CLG seal it up pretty nicely. Ricky getting aggressive with this peak. It's very common to do so. But Peter in the underpass with the op, just to call that out pretty much.
So first kill goes by the way of compLexity and will be completely unreplied to. However, this window player.
Oh, he's close.
Snuck up. Yeah, I don't think they realized he got that close. He snuck in just in between that window after the molly was thrown, but before the smoke popped. Good timing from him to pick up a trade kill and bring it back down to a 4v4.
There's a situation where Cutler's like, all right, I'm getting this kill 100% because this molly came out just late enough that, all right, they're not going to be expecting any kind of push. And what happened?
Ethan got picked off one of the other players from Cahol again. So Peter tries to take a battle, but FNS is going to be able to take him down. And now we're down to just 2 from compLexity, trying to pull off a 2v4 and having to basically clear everything as they go back, even wondering if the bomb is going to be safe to pick back up. This is obviously a bit overzealous, as there won't be any position established out here by CLG. But now with only 35 seconds left, they're going to have to find some way to still get into a site with basically 0 utility in their name. And also no intelligence either. They don't know anything about where CLG have positions set up at. It's a good thing that the connector cross is safe, and wow, Slemmy really amazed he could even get any intel off with looking at things that quickly, but...
It's 300 IQ.
Yeah, just goes for the speed check. So look at the plan at least, because the B site was left relatively open, but this is also because Kusta pushed out more inside of the apartments. First kill is theirs, but I think Kusta also gave himself away here. He's certainly going to do so with the flashbang. Moving back in, he's going to be able to finally trade out Def, who did pick up a second kill. He's done his job. The rest is up to Slemmy here. He's got a 1v2 in front of him. The molly does not help his case. He's been put into the open and playing from that position out in the open next to the site. Kusta can take him down. And even if Kusta got traded by Slemmy, Ethan should have been able to finish off the job. So
yeah, it was a good try, but they were definitely well prepared to stop any type of play over towards B, and ultimately were comfortable in the retake. But yeah, again, good play from Cutler to realize the Molotov was a tell as to what they were going to try to do, got in the face of it, and gave CLG another chance at life here. Okay, everyone's got their guns. They're just on the ground. 2 buys, they go head-to-head. I guess that was a very important bomb plant for compLexity, because I don't think they would have been able to afford what they have now without it. No one's actually holding the A push, so... Ooh, and Ricky finds his kills as well. This might be a close game.
Starts it off with a quick hit. And now again has caused compLexity for the most part to freeze here, as they do not have a backup plan for that. Mid control seems to be their only go-to at the start of rounds, as they've shown that once again here. So how exactly are they going to evolve past this? What are they going to do to change things up? They'll start it off with a quick push into connector. It's actually Peter up on top of Cat that gets the first kill here against Kusta. But Def certainly helping out with his own pressure. Android still has control of underpass here, so he's making sure the CTs don't push too aggressively into the apartments. And Def steals away another kill now. He's able to find Ethan, taking him down. Although FNS could cause some trouble, but no, Slemmy's watching for that, so he'll take him down. However, Slemmy, I don't think is expecting the second player to push back the other way. He moves in, drops out Peter. With Def's kill, though, it puts it all on Ricky to hold 1v3. And the bomb will almost certainly be heading into the A site to plant now.
Yeah, Slemmy's perfect nade combo to molly out Cat, get up in connector, get the bomb down, make sure that Ricky can't push off, and op him, making it hard to recover. And they have, what is that? Not top mid control. No, but a proper setup in the post plant for A. They know exactly where Ricky is as well.
And he's not even checking this corner too. So Def,
that's a rip.
Ah, there we go. Slemmy finishes it off, and finally, after it was looking like actually CLG might have been able to make the comeback, it doesn't happen. So compLexity will close out on their second map of the night, winning here on both Train along with Mirage against CLG. They take it. They take a dominant stance, and will also earn 6 points for tonight.
Monster 2-0. Can't believe it. They actually were playing a lot better than I think a lot of people anticipated, including myself. Even though I thought they would take the first map, maybe that I was shocked that they took Mirage and made it look so easy. But CLG definitely not looking like themselves.
Yeah, and hopefully this is not a sign of more bad things to come, but we will have to wait and see how the CLG roster chooses to get over its issues. But now we do have the analysts, I believe, standing by, ready to close out the night. So let's take it over to them.
Standing by, ever so steadfast. Yep, there it is.
Standing by, sir.
Outstanding. Guys, let's talk a little bit more about the stand that compLexity took here against CLG.
Well, they showed that they don't want to be in spot to get relegated, or in the matches, I guess, in the playoff thing, whatever. And CLG kind of dropped the ball there. They didn't play well at all.
Yeah, it was kind of, at least they kind of showed a little bit of save their dignity towards the end of that half, the second half, by getting a few rounds, right? Because it was 14-6 at one point, and then they strung some together, got double digits. So at least they saved that. But I think it was that beginning part of the first half where compLexity was on the CT side that was really the big thing, pushing for info.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the first replay we're going to look at. It's going to be round 6 here. compLexity finding themselves in an advantageous positioning.
So as you see, CLG is going to do this A execute, and compLexity has 3 people pushed up, so it makes me kind of believe that either CLG did their homework, or not CLG, compLexity has done their homework, knowing how CLG play, or they play against each other in practice a lot.
So what happened for the 2 rounds that CLG have, right? Because it started off 3-0 for compLexity, then CLG wins 2 rounds, and then we arrive at this round that we just showed. And those 2 rounds that CLG won were heavy mid-default based. So I think it had something to do with what you said, is like they kind of know how CLG calls, where like if they're going to be successful 2 rounds in a row in middle, they might go more towards like an execute setup, right? Because like they literally were in that sandwich under balk, you know, a 3rd guy in the site setup before anything happened, right? They just immediately ran to those spots. So it was some kind of read where they thought that they might do something like that.
And also, if they were to take mid a 3rd time, I think maybe they're kind of pushed up so they could push A ramp, push A halls, and get positioned to maybe retake A or fast lane B.
Exactly. It's kind of like taking A main when the T's have mid control and cache, right? Like you forfeit something, gain something else that allows you to maintain sight instead of getting crunched on.
Yep.
Well, we're talking about taking middle. That is the name of the game. And in our next replay, we're going to be highlighting that, where CLG uses that to, in turn, take control of middle. That's going to be round number 9, actually, that we're not going to look at right now. Perhaps at another time, perhaps at another place. In fact, find me later on, and I'll give you their contact info, and you can talk to them about it. However, we're going to take a look at round 12 instead, because that seems like a good starting point and a good place to be. And Ricky picks Jump Spotter.
Yeah, so what happens this round is that this round is taking place after CLG have gotten flanked by somebody pushing for info multiple times, right? So Ricky gets that kill at B. As soon as you get a kill somewhere on the map, a CT is somewhat incentivized to look for info elsewhere, right? Because if they just turtle up 2-2 at each site or whatever setup, and they have no idea what's coming at them, then they're at a disadvantage, right? So Def repushes B, gets himself picked. And then Yaster and PTR are both close A. And, you know, a CT at A makes sound. Ethan pops out halls. You know, he's basically playing that lurk play to perfection. And this goes back to like those video series that that Fallen did on Mirage way back in the day, where he's like, when we are on a default on Mirage, not all of us go for picks at the same time. And that's one of the reasons why, is because when somebody gets a pick somewhere, it's highly likely that a CT will give something up elsewhere. They'll move, they'll reposition based on what they lost.
A game of never-ending give and take. That is the Counter-Strike world we live in. So right now I'm going to give you some knowledge for your membranes. That's right. Head over to youtube.com/ESLCS. Perhaps you could find exactly what VOD it is that James is talking about right now. Or, you know, maybe you're joining us for the first time, or you got here a little bit late. Either way, head over there, check out some VODs, get right into it. Let's go ahead and recap today's action, though, because you know what? We got 2 days left of Pro League for this week and of this season here in regular season. And ultimately, there you have it. There's the score lines.
Yeah, unfortunately for Immortals, they had to play with 200+ ping, but I would expect them to try a little bit harder. It looked like they were just in
Oh, come on, man.
Come on. They were just running around. Let's go. I mean, if you're on the line where you could possibly get relegated, you might want to put a little more effort. Even though you have 200+ ping, you got to try a little bit harder, I think. I don't think they did.
Why don't you walk a mile in their shoes?
I'd love to. I would love to walk a mile in their shoes. I would love to.
Let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that.
All right, I tell you what, we're going to go to standings now. And, you know, with these wins, with these losses, there have been some adjustments. What do we see?
CLG not doing themselves a favor is what we see. compLexity pretty much locking up not being relegated, right? Because I think it's those bottom two that either the bottom one gets auto-relegated, the second one has to play at the MDLGC to play for their spot. And then what else do we see here? I think that we see that C9, Misfits, Luminosity, and NRG are somewhat still in the pack, right? Obviously, the higher up you are within those guys, the closer you are to being in the playoff contention. But I think the biggest takeaway from today was CLG not capitalizing on what could have been solidifying their LAN hopes.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. We could fly in the EU standings now and see just how they're doing across that big body of water known as the Atlantic Ocean.
There we go. And you see Na'Vi, I think they're playing with Electronic now. They barely lost to Astralis, I believe, the other day against them. One was actually not even close, and one went to overtime, and Electronic showing that he was doing well. I mean, he fit right in. Unfortunately, they still lose. Hopefully, they can figure something out with Na'Vi, because there's a just absurd amount of talent on that team. They should not be last place.
Well, an absurd amount of talent, and that Not As Sincere logo not looking so hot down there at the very bottom of the standings. But it is a little crazy how
it's one of my favorite stickers to put on an AK, though, because it has contrast to many of the primary colors. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
Just a second. Just to see how it feels.
Here, I got another tip for you, and it's going to be tomorrow's matches. Let's go ahead and look at those real quick. Energy and Luminosity, followed by a little Cloud9 Optic action, so that's a little exciting. Then over on the B stream, you're going to have compLexity and the Misfits, but you won't find us there. You know, we're primary stream kind of guys.
Yeah.
So we're over here doing the primary kind of thing.
So my homework before tomorrow is I want to figure out whether or not like a higher seed gets somewhat better like group seeding for the LAN stage, because Optic playing C9 tomorrow, right? Like, what is the incentive for Optic to win any of those maps? C9 need both, right? Like, they're basically on the edge. If any other team wins and they lose, then they basically don't control their own destiny. So I'm wondering, like, you know, if Optic stay in second place in the standings, like, do they get a better group draw? I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to figure that out.
I tell you what, James, get back to us tomorrow at the same great place with the same great folks doing the same great thing here in the Intel Esports Arena and at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. My name is Trey Stunnis Saranthus, and I'm going to be signing us off tonight. Have a good one.